Howdy y'all, this is Lizard here, and I'm back bitching in my truck again. I don't care that nobody asked for my opinion, nobody asked you to watch this video. Um, I just got back from dropping off some stuff at the thrift store, as a little donation, and one of those things that I dropped off were my old work uniforms at Noodles and Company. And it got me thinking about all the horror stories that I'm gonna share with you in this video. Because, yeah, for all the times that I complain about working at the planetarium, which is where I work at right now, all of that is nothing compared to what the shit I dealt with at Noodles, honestly. Like, to start off, when I first started working there, understaffed as fuck, right? And they were trying to figure out, a good schedule for me and shit. Um, and Sundays were absolute hell. I mean, absolute hell. They were so busy. Just right as soon as we opened, boom, 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 orders coming in. And the reason for that, the main reason, was because the next closest location of Noodles and Company was closed on Sunday, literally because they did not have enough staff that could work that day. And Sundays were just terrible, absolutely terrible. Yeah, and in fact, there was this one Sunday where, I don't know, something was happening where we ran out of freaking cheesy garlic bread and everyone was ordering it, and people were waiting like 40 minutes for their freaking bread, and it was a nightmare. Yeah, other than that, I usually didn't deal with that much crowd wise, except for this one time this like soccer team came in, like this kids soccer team, and afterwards the dining room was an absolute disaster. Like, it just looked like a freaking tornado went through it. It was terrible. And guess who had to clean that all up? But yeah, my role at Noodles and Company was I was basically front of house. I know technically they have like some cute little name. I think it was Noodles Ambassador or whatever, which I hate when companies do that. They give their employees cute little names as if they're important when really they could just terminate you for any reason without any notice because they fucking can. It's really dishonest and disingenuous, and I hate that. But anyway, enough about that. More horror stories. For the longest time at Noodles, I would work Monday through Friday mornings, if I recall correctly. I would be front of house, and I was the only front of house staff they had for those mornings for the longest time. For a lot of days, it would be me, like one, maybe two other cooks, and then a manager, and that was it. And it was quite an interesting experience being that understaffed. I guess another thing I want to mention with Noodles and Company is DoorDash, which is what I dealt with a lot at Noodles. I want to say like roughly 50% of our orders, like in general, not just online orders, like in general, 50% of our orders were DoorDash orders. And when you have a lot of DoorDash orders, you deal with a lot of DoorDash workers, and usually they're okay, and sometimes they're just a little rude because, they're waiting for their food. But ever since I've worked at Noodles, I have vowed to never order anything from DoorDash. And granted, I was never going to order anything from DoorDash anyway, but afterwards, after seeing, DoorDashers, come in while I was trying to take an order, I'm like, I'll be with you in just a minute, and the guy's just like, I don't have a minute, and he just grabs the bag and runs off with the food, and meanwhile the customer, I'm taking their order, and they're just like, what is with that guy? Like, that's just rude. But anyway, and also seeing DoorDashers come in and they absolutely reek of cigarette smoke. And it's just like, why would I pay extra money to have my food delivered in some dirty ass smoker's car? Like, nah, not worth it. Anyway, DoorDash workers would also sometimes do this thing where they'd like go behind the counter to like look at stuff, and it's just like, dude, I don't get like I don't get when people like walk behind the counters of places like that. Like, if it's like a little kid, like I don't care, cuz little kids, they're in their own fucking world, but like grown as adults, that pissed me off. That was the only thing that really pissed me off that customers did. Like when customers, they'd come up to the counter, or behind the counter actually, to try and crane their necks to look at at our menu. It drove me up the wall. They didn't do it too often, but often enough to where it's just like, what are you doing? Can you not see, like, anyway, I don't know what these people are on when they do this shit. Sometimes this didn't happen too often either, but like every now and then, like every once in a blue moon, a customer would come up, stare at our menu, and then as I'm taking their order, they're like, can I get a half bowl of rice? And I'm just sitting there like, where the fuck do you think you are, my guy? This is not fucking Panda Express. That shit's down the street. Like, this is not Rice and Co. This is Noodles and Co. Like, where the fuck you seeing rice on there, bruh? Other than that, though, customers generally weren't too bad. Hell, there were some customers that that came to Noodles that I actually genuinely kind of liked. But other than that, yeah, and customers were not all the customers, all the DoorDashers, I'd be fine dealing with all of that. But the main reason I left Noodles and Company was management, bruh. Like, at the store I worked at, management was always changing. Like, we'd have this, like, the first manager that hired me, he was there for a few months, then he got promoted. Another couple managers came in, but they would get moved to other stores and shit. My net, my, the new, like, head manager of that place, she was awful. Like, I just want to get this off my chest. She is one of those bitches that claims to be a fucking empath. And if you know anything about those bitches that claim to be empaths, they are the worst fucking people on the planet. Like, dead ass. I am 95% sure this bitch was anti-vax. And bear in mind, this was like right after the pandemic. Like, I started working there 2021, summer of 2021, and seeing this bitch was anti-vax is just like, and she claimed to be an empath, and she was into all that star sign shit, and it's just like, oh my god. But that's not even the thing that bothered me. This bitch would fucking yell at me for trying to do my job, and it was getting bad. Like, bad to the point that customers were starting to notice it and leaving bad reviews. Like, there was this one lady that left this review saying, oh, Elizabeth was really nice. That's my name. I don't like saying it, but whatever. Yeah, she was really nice, but the manager was so rude. And it's just like, yes, you know, stop yelling at me for trying to do my job. And there were some other managers there that were kind of dicks, but it's just like, whatever. But yeah, eventually found new work at the planetarium. And even though there's like plenty of drama that goes on there at the planetarium, especially nowadays, it is nothing compared to the garbage I was dealing with at Noodles. And I am so fucking glad I left that shithole. Especially because even with shitty management stuff, at least they fucking pay better. Like at Noodles, I was making like 10 an hour plus tips. And if you know anything about like Utah tipping culture, it is absolute garbage. Like Utahns are some of the stingiest tippers out there. Yeah, planetarium pays a lot better. Well, not a lot better, just but significantly better than what I was earning at Noodles. And yeah, glad I left. Fuck that place. Have not eaten there since. It's expensive, overpriced as fuck, and especially for considering how stingy they are with their portions. Like, I looked on their website a while back, and it's just like if you want a little piece of chicken on your food, it's $5. That's ridiculous. What the fuck is this world coming to? Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap up this video now. If y'all have been to Noodles and Company, write down your stories in the comments below if you have any. If you have any suggestions for what I should bitch about next, leave those in the comments too. I apologize if this video quality is kind of weird. I'm holding my phone up on my dash cam right now, so I hope the audio or video isn't too weird. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. See ya.